Bless you. This is the Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Dios lo bendiga. Este es Reverendo Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Welcoming you to another broadcast. At this hour, we have our bilingual broadcast, our teaching in English and Spanish. So we ask that you be patient as we translate live on the fly between languages. Esta es la hora que damos la enseñanza en inglés y español y pedimos que tengas pues paciencia mientras que traduzcamos de un idioma al otro. Aproveche y aprende el otro idioma. While we're at it, you can learn the other language as well. Es un beneficio de sintonizarse con nuestro ministerio. It's a benefit, an added benefit I should add, of tuning in to our ministry. Welcome to our broadcast. Dios bendiga a todos. Bienvenidos. Ahora empezamos. We're getting started right now. Sorry for the delay. We still have, I believe there's still a phone call coming in here. And I didn't want the phone to ring while we were in session. So that's the issue here. So I'll probably interrupt the broadcast later to turn off the phones. But in any case, we'll get started. Vamos a comenzar ahora. No podemos esperar más. Están usando el teléfono No me gusta que estén en el teléfono cuando estoy enseñando. Lo que pasa es que el teléfono después suena. All right, so that being what it is, let us get started with our class today. Vamos a empezar hoy día. Bienvenido, welcome. We're not on Roku, by the way, at this hour. I think for the last few weeks, since there's no communication really with the people who watch us over Roku and Amazon Fire TV, it seems that the broadcast network that distributes the signal to those networks was having technical issues. So yesterday actually, I did take note of it, and we started troubleshooting. It's Sunday though, so who can do anything on a Sunday? So I guess that today we'll have to just settle for our other, 8 or 9 broadcast channels today. So everyone should be using one of these channels today for this lesson. Hoy no estamos en Roku hoy o Amazon Fire TV por la razón que hay un problema técnico que empezó a indicarme algunas semanas atrás, pero ayer fue que fui a investigar y entonces noté que había un problema y pues hoy es domingo, nadie trabaja, así que hay que esperar. No estamos en vivo en esos canales, lo que está grabado ya está allí. Eso sí que está ahí, pero lo de hoy no va a estar ahí. So, again, vamos a comenzar hoy día. El tema de hoy es dealing with a man, cómo tratar con los hombres, eh, cómo bregar con los hombres. And give me 1 second so I can do something with the phone, since it's now terminated the call. So I'm going to put on this little donation plate. So if you have a donation, any amount, just use this following screen, which will be up for a moment, okay? Alrighty. All right. Thank you for the millions that you've donated. We appreciate it, especially in this time that is such dire financial woes around the world. Praise God. But God, God is faithful. God is faithful, especially to those that are right on spot doing His will. So we thank Him for all of His tender mercies. Hoy damos gracias al Señor por todo lo que ha hecho y lo que sigue haciendo. So let's get into this thing. Oh my goodness. I think last time we were talking about women, and we were discussing an important quality that a woman should have, which now interplays with men, and it isn't a low-cut t-shirt as someone had suggested a while ago. So and the last week we had uncovered or discovered that the scripture attributes an expectation of wisdom. One of the things that women have to develop through life, and the earlier the better, is wisdom. Una de las cosas que la mujer debe de desarrollar, descubrimos la semana pasada, es lo que se llama la sabiduría a través de la vida, empezando desde joven, porque la instrucción de la semana pasada, el texto bíblico dijo que las ancianas deben enseñar a las niñas, a las jóvenes, que deben de ser amorosas y cosas, y dice, y ser sabios, que sean sabios. Um, que sean, o sea, que demuestren amor para sus esposos y sus hijos. Y en esos textos que leímos había esa indicación, esa declaración que deben de desarrollar sabiduría, porque la anciana debe de tenerla, ¿no? Por la experiencia, ¿cierto? So we discovered last week that through the experiences of life, the elderly women should have developed wisdom, because wisdom usually associated usually with age, and because the age has nothing to do with it except for the fact that it takes people a long time to gain wisdom. But it doesn't mean that everyone has to wait till they're old to be wise. It's just simply that most people have to go through a lot of time to learn. But if a person learns earlier, then they're wiser earlier. Simple. This is a simple thing. That's why there's children who talk back or they resist the parent uh, at earlier ages. You see, like these defiant children. I'm not just talking about the evil twos, but later, throughout their young years, they seem defiant to the parents, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're defiant. There's a difference in defiance and questioning life, questioning things, why they are this way and why they are that way. So again, a parent has to be wise, has to understand the difference between your child confronting you and or your child questioning his environment, which means that obviously that child is very intelligent, is or more intelligent for his age than other kids. So you have to be able to tell the difference. And I'm sorry that I'm mixing little things from different groups in the home, but it all mixes in, it all has something to do, some bearing to do with each other. Hay niños que se desarrollan más antes de tiempo aquí y entonces empiezan a desafiar a los padres. Y eso es diferente que el niño que desafía a los padres por ser desobediente. Los padres tienen que entender la diferencia. Cuando es desobediencia y cuando es inquirir, cuando es explorar el mundo porque ya conozco cosas y quiero ver cómo trabajan las cosas y por qué hay que hacer esto y por qué hay que hacer lo otro. Madre y padre tienen que entender la diferencia. Tú tienes que conocer sus hijos, tienes que conocerlos y si son desobedientes y cuándo, y si son inteligentes. Y hay indicaciones que un niño es inteligente en la escuela, ¿no? Si trae buenas marcas, pero no solamente, a veces los niños inteligentes también tienen problemas académicos en la escuela, believe it or not, porque tienen otros problemas o no son inteligentes, pero también tienen problema emocional y cosas así que interfiere con los grados en la escuela. Pero como siempre, el padre es que tiene que conocer sus hijos. So I will explain that there are intelligent children who have emotional problems. I should know. I deal with these kids all the time. Intelligent. There's some intelligent, and we've proven it. They're intelligent, but because of their emotional issues, they don't perform well in school. They don't perform well in school or testing. We have one child that just cannot sit in the classroom for more than 20 minutes. It has to start throwing things around, blah, 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 and becomes very misbehaved and was failing all the classes. Now she's ahead of the class here. You see, since there's no school, now, she's able to do her thing because we always knew that she was intelligent. We can tell, we're dealing with her here And we can see, this girl knows what she's doing, and this girl is smart. I don't see why she can't pass in school. But the reason is the emotional thing. The school is dealing with a group of kids, not individual. And it is a fact that there are intelligent kids that just simply need some more attention one on one so that they can shine. They're intelligent, but there's other obstacles that they're dealing with. Hay otros obstáculos muchas veces que el niño tiene que bregar con ellos y no prospera en la escuela, pero en otro lugar sí va a prosperar académicamente. Believe it or not, we've seen it. We're seeing it now. It's just that's the way it is. So don't your kid is getting F's in school, los niños cogen grados malos en escuela, no asumen que son brutos. Bruto es una cosa. You can rest assured, if I call you bruto, you're brute. Pero hay niños que saben, tienen conocimiento, pero la educación mainstream, o sea, la educación estándar, ¿cómo se dice? Estandarizado. I'm making it up as I go. Standardized education is not their thing. They're not standard. They don't learn like in a group where everyone's learning at the same pace. They need a separate type of channeling, but they were as intelligent or even more intelligent than the rest of the peers. So again, the schools test standards. They teach in a standard format, and especially when it comes to intelligent children, some intelligent children cannot be taught in a standard format. They don't prosper that way. They don't perform well. They need a different way of teaching them, a different individualized or yeah, individualized instruction, so that they can perform, and you'll see that they learn more and they know more than the other kids in the classroom, believe it or not. So we've turning F's into A's here, and progressing kids, because we can see if a kid really has knowledge or doesn't. And then we're also able to identify when a child has some cognitive problems. So we have been able to identify that. We asked for certain tests to be done. They did the test, and they found out that, and this is again another child that we have, that there was a problem. They're having a different type of problem, which obviously is interfering with everything. So again, you need to know your children well. These are children that they're not our own, but in the little time that we have them and that we're dealing with them, we're able to wait a minute. This looks like something else is happening, and so we're able to identify that, either get them tested or take advantage of these days that they're off, or Saturdays and Sundays, and give them individualized attention so they can move ahead. All right, so entonces. Hay niños que han tenido problemas, hay que identificarlos. Nosotros bregamos con niños que no son nuestros, pero podemos identificar ciertos problemas que están teniendo y necesidades que tienen, para poder progresar académicamente. Aquí hay uno que no puede avanzar académicamente porque tiene problemas serios. Pero nosotros identificamos eso. Los padres tienen que tener más conocimiento, más sabiduría más temprano. No gasten el tiempo, padre. Man and woman, hombre y mujer, no gasta su tiempo en la vida. Aprende las cosas, métete en unos libros, aprende cosas para que uno pueda ayudar a sus hijos. Ese es el asunto, que usted está esperando que otro brega con sus hijos, que otro descubre. No van a descubrir nada, ¿no? Su hijo va a fallar, falla. El padre es que necesita averiguar estas cosas y saber sus hijos, conocer sus hijos y verificar si sus hijos tienen capacidad para aprender o tienen otro problema. So these are the things that you really need as a man and a woman. You guys need to be on top of things so that you can identify if your child is having a situation, a problem, if it is something that is resolved through your assistance, through one-on-one attention, through some specialized education, mediation in the school setting, or if there's need for more something to be tested to see if there's actually a problem that you've already identified in one way or other. Just saying, no matter, just saying that uh, this child needs some to be, we need to make sure that there's not another thing. It seems that there's something else. Something else is preventing them from moving on. Now, I only say this in addition to the reasons I started with first, the tie-in, but this has a lot to do with what we're talking about today, how to deal with men, because a lot of things, not because it's just a man thing, women as well, but it just since we're talking about a lot of things I'm going to talk about applies both to men and women. But when you guys are developing in life, you guys have to know what your issue is. If you're a man, you're a boy, a young teenager, male, or you're a female teen and or young lady, you have to know what it is that's up with you. If there's something up with you, you need to come to grips with it. Because denying things will make life more difficult in the future. Just you ignoring the truth will make your life and whoever it is that gets stuck with you a living hell in the future, because you're denying the truth about yourself, and you're not getting the help that you need first, or at least advising the people who get into relationships with you that this thing is an issue. Hay mucha gente de estos niños, por eso estoy hablando, estos niños van a crecer y ser novios y novias en el futuro. Y nadie va a hablar de su vida anterior, de su crecimiento, de su desarrollo. Se van a meter en relaciones con equipaje dañina que tarde o temprano va a impactar negativamente en sus relaciones. Eso es parte también de que ustedes como niños, como jóvenes, tienen que analizarse o admitir para ustedes que son mis asuntos. You have to admit to yourselves, this is what I'm grappling with. And you need to find assistance, especially if you're going to get into a relationship. Why are you going to live the rest of your life in misery and causing pain to other people and then destroying your children, just because you want to get laid? I'm going to deal with this straight. Hay gente que dice, por solo tener sexo van a arruinarse su vida, a arruinar la vida de sus compañeros, compañeras, y también arruinar las vidas de los hijos, de fruto de su vientre, all right? O de la mujer que escoge, que te estoqueó contigo, solamente porque tú rehusas de admitir, de identificar, admitir y buscar asistencia para un problema que tú sabes que tú tienes desde la niñez o de la juventud. So this is the first thing is, if we're going to do things the right way, we have to start with ourselves. Now I'm talking to the men. Men, most important, how to deal with a man is first of all, how to deal with your manhood. Cómo bregar con su, ¿cómo se dice? Su varonil, con su manera varonil, con su estado varonil. That's the first thing. You can't handle yourself. How do you expect your girlfriend or your wife to handle you? How do you expect? What really is it that you're expecting? You have to be able you have to be able to handle yourself in an appropriate manner. If you cannot drive a car, you're going to crash. You're going to hurt other people, okay? And you're going to hurt yourself, maybe. It's usually not the case that you hurt yourself. Oh, God forbid. Usually the cases that you hurt others. ¿Cómo tú vas, ser hombre es como conducir un carro, pero ¿cómo tú vas a conducir un carro si no sabes conducir? Usted va a hacer daño a propiedad a otras personas y casi nunca hace daño así, es posible, pero la mayoría de veces las personas que conducen irresponsablemente dañan las vidas de otros y ellos caminan. So this is the first thing that you really have to deal with. First of all, is make yourself what's called a self-inventory. Es hacer un inventario, un autoinventorio, es mirarse uno en sí. ¿Qué son mis fuerzas y cuáles son mis debilidades? You have to at least take a self-inventory and identify your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Where are you weak at? Because really, and when it comes time, you guys go into a relationship, and you girls, you young ladies, when you are in a relationship with a guy, you guys are wasting a lot of time kissing. I'll say it the way it is. You guys are kissing, you guys are hugging, you guys are doing other things really that shouldn't be done until you're married, instead of finding more about this dude. Okay? That's what you really should be doing. You should be finding more about the dude, not finding out what he has under his belt. Because the important thing is not what he has under the belt. The important thing is what he has under the hood. Ay, ay, ay. That's right. No hay que estar descubriendo, joven, lo que hay debajo de la correa del macho. Lo que hay que estar averiguando, lo que está debajo del ¿cómo se llama ese? El capote del carro, donde está el motor, esto aquí. See? And really, women, let me tell you, ladies out there, you guys have the key. You and you alone can fix this whole world up. That's right. Las mujeres pueden arreglar todo este problema inmediatamente. Okay, you know how you guys fix the world. You have the power. The ladies have the power. Las mujeres tienen el poder y la capacidad de terminar con todo este problema y arreglar todos los asuntos. ¿Tú sabes cómo? Simply do not date, do not do anything or give up any pudding to any man or any male who does not demonstrate capacity. Simple. This is the end of the line. You guys can stop all the BS right away. Ustedes mujeres pueden terminar con toda esta porquería ya inmediatamente con no tener relación. Y no estoy solamente hablando de sexo, pero absolutamente es que no. No debes tener relaciones con cualquier macho que no demuestra capacidad. That's it. That'll end it. That leaves 98% of the school population out of the running. All right? That's it. If the girls would stop kissing and hugging Dodo, we will have a better marriage outcomes in the future, better society in the future. We will have better generations being born on the earth in the future, and do away with all this stupidity. Because what's happening is that you girls are opening your legs to Dodo. Dodos went extinct long ago. Okay? Although I do particularly think that they exist within the crotches of a lot of young ladies out there. You guys are harboring the enemy. Ustedes están dando pase y dando vida a lo que debe ya morir en extinción hace tiempo. Man, if the girls would only kiss boys and have relations with boys who have A's, straight A's in the school, you would turn around the educational level of the United States just with that alone. Forget that. The guys would start studying, they would start talking intelligently, would stop the BS, and you will have a better person, a better society in just a year or two. It won't take that long. That's it. But since a lot of you ladies are giving it away for free, we have garbage. What comes out is garbage. The result is garbage. You have your children who don't have a father. I mean, of course, the guy who did it is around there, wherever, but they don't really have a father, their own father that's raising them in the home. See, because again, you open your womb to dodo. Así que vemos que las mujeres se entregan a cualquiera, a personas que no interesan estudiar, no quieren hacer nada de progresivo, y entonces le dan todo, la farmacia, y entonces hay hijos que no tienen padres que le demuestren cómo ser hombre. Ahora ellos no son ejemplos de hombre, yo entiendo. Pero ¿por qué darle hijos? You know, they're not examples of men. They're not good examples of being a man, but why give them children? Why are you condemning your children to have fathers who are not worth it? ¿Por qué tú te estás dando entrañas a personas, hombres que no valen la pena? Entonces haciendo parir hijos que no tienen padres que tengan la pena. Tienen otra pena, pero no la pena que importa. All right, so again, this is the issue. And again, it's because women, the girls, are not being wise. You're not being wise. You're not choosing wisely. Ustedes las mujeres no están escogiendo con sabiduría. So again, that's the first thing. All of your, half of all your issues that some of you guys are having with men is simply because you chose wrong. Ay, que bello para. You chose their handsome face, the way their mustache was, the way their eyes look, and all that, all these things that don't matter. And that's what you fell in love with. You did not look to see if that what was behind those beautiful eyes was a brain or not. Okay, so that's your problem. That's the problem that you are causing the world and the future generations. You, because you're not being wise. And what good is it to us to wait till you're old and wrinkling so that you can be an elder with wisdom to then tell these young ladies who are not going to listen because you didn't listen, and then they're not going to listen. And what is this? It's a game. That's what's happening. It's a game. So you just you're just looking for other things instead of the things that are important. So again, most of the reasons for the problems there are in relationships is due to improper expectations, because of course you were looking for something else. La mayoría de los problemas en las relaciones es por las expectaciones malas, o sea, mal expectación, porque usted escogiste basado en otras cosas, pero espera esto. You're looking at you chose based on DEF, but you are expecting ABC. That's the problem. That is your mismatch. If all you were looking for was DEF, then that's all you should be expecting, DEF. That's it. Don't expect ABC, and then you're living and disappointed for the rest of your life because you realize, oh, what I need is ABC, but you got stuck with DEF. Así que ustedes cogen DEF, pero entonces esperan ABC. No esperen ABC. Ustedes buscaron DEF y eso es todo lo que debes esperar. Ahora vive el resto de su vida, ahora que ya tiene un poquito más de sabiduría. Ay, es que yo necesito ABC, pero no lo tiene porque tú escogiste DEF. ¿Sí? So, ese es el problema. So early on, as early as you girls can manage it, I'm getting older, you're getting older, but as soon as you can wrangle it, you need to get a little wiser and listen to the elderly ladies. Get a little wiser and choose your ABC. Look for ABC and not your DEF. Because DEF may look nice, may dance nice, may kiss nice, but you need ABC. And your kids will need ABC. Because the DEF don't help your kids. Don't help your kids that their father look nice, dance nice, and kiss nice. That doesn't help your kids. Your kids need ABC. Okay? And I can only give myself out to you so many. They give me a limit how many kids of yours I can take care of. And I can raise as a father. You need to get a father of your children, young lady. Usted necesita primeramente escoger el padre de sus hijos. The guy who's going to maintain the home. El hombre que va a mantener el hogar financieramente. Como cabeza de casa, as the head of household. Okay? That is the person, not the kisser, not the hugger. Not all these guys can do that. That's easy. They just watch videos. Believe me, I know. They watch videos and then they think they know how to kiss, they know how to be a lover and thrill you. That's it. They have a lot of video training for that. But for being a real man and taking responsibility and being successful for the sake of his family and his children, there's no videos for that one. Unless you see my stuff. But other than that, there's no videos. They don't watch. They don't want to sit there for 2 hours. They got other important things to do, like video training. Ok, entonces estos son los hombres que no soportan mis 2 horas de enseñanza, pero tienen otros videos que prefieren ver. Y las chicas prefieren estos expertos en amor, en acariciar y en abrazar y en estrujarse. ¿Ok? Como tienen tanta educación por video que usan estos hombres, o se llaman hombres, se creen hombres. Pero el arte y la habilidad de ser hombre no lo tienen. ¿Ok? Y esto no lo soporta. This is the truth that they can't take. So, again, the issue is that the young ladies can fix it once and for good if y'all would choose wisely and don't choose the losers. Do not choose the kisser, the hugger, even though that's what you do need that. You have to understand you're falling for that because you yourself need that emotionally, but your family doesn't need that in the long run. What makes the home run isn't kissing and caressing. It's that a man do what he's supposed to do and provide for his family and be there for his children. These are the things that hugging and kissing do not ensure you. So we understand. You see, you have to understand something that going by what you feel, which is a lot of ladies do that, going by what you feel is not the best thing all the time. Usted tiene que tener que yendo por sus sentimientos, aunque las mujeres usan mucho los sentimientos, no es necesario lo mejor para su familia, para ti y su familia y sus hijos en el futuro que van a venir, ¿verdad? Porque como carece tanto, pero un día de esto va a salir niño. Eso es lo que pasa. So again, the girls have a lot to do with it. And again, you guys have the power to change it. So I'm making a plea that you do that. Start making if you're in a relationship, start talking about the important things. And make sure that your boyfriend understands that you are looking for someone who gets A's in their classes, that can show that they can overcome problems in the future, like a pandemic, and they would know then, well, I'm going to have to do this for my kids when there's no food in the supermarket, right? Yeah, I'm going to make sure that my family has something to eat. All right, and that I'm going to solve this issue, this problem that happened. I'm going to find a solution for the family so that our family can survive. See, that's a man. A man has to find solutions. Okay, and where kissing and hugging is not going to find a solution. Okay, when your kids are starving, when your kids are having problems, the hugging and kissing is not going to help. Así que cuando ustedes van a tener problemas, ustedes tienen problemas, los niños tienen hambre y hay problemas en el mundo, las caricias y los besos no van a ayudar. Es mejor tener un hombre que ha demostrado que puede solucionar problemas. And one of the biggest problems in life for a young person is getting an A in school. Okay? And if they can't even get an A in school because they didn't bother to study, then what good are they? What good are they? I'm sorry for you gentlemen out there who didn't get an A in your school or anything. I'm sorry about it, but I bet you if you had a girl that was making that a point, you would have. Simple. You would have. Because you would have done something about it. Okay? So, again, you have no training in getting things done and solving problems. So that's all you have. If you have a boyfriend, young lady, that has not been able to succeed in school, you're looking at a man who will be unable to solve the problems that will come in your life and your family's life tomorrow. So that is the bottom line. That's the reality you have to deal with. Así que hay que entender que el hombre, el muchacho, el varón, que no puede solucionar sus problemas en la escuela con tener grados de A en sus clases, es un hombre que no va a poder solucionar los problemas de la vida, de la familia, para ayudar a la familia, que la familia sobreviva en un futuro. They just won't be able to do it. That's it. They will do what they did in school. What was that? Play hooky. These are the guys that when there's a problem in the home, there's a problem in the marriage, guess what they'll do? They'll play hooky. When there's a need for a real man to step up to the plate, where will they be? Playing hooky with their friends. See, and then later on you're calling pastor, pastor, this guy, he works all week, then he's over there with his friends and he's spending the money and we don't have milk for the kid. That's what happened. Because he was a kisser though, right? That's why, I have half of the desire. Someone comes to me and calls me on the phone and I said, but how does he kiss? I want to do that because, yes. Because why did you marry the kisser? Why did you marry the guy who was always begging you for pudding and all of that, and you were giving it all up while he was failing in class. As a matter of fact, you guys did it when he was playing hockey. La cosa es que estaban teniendo relaciones cuando no estaba en la clase, en el salón. Y entonces después está quejando que el hombre está gastando la plata con los amigos en la calle. O se está gastando la plata con las chicas. Hello. He's spending the money with the girls out in the street, whatever. Being unfaithful to the marriage. Because that's what you married. You wanted that. Tú quisiste eso es lo que tiene. You wanted that, that's what you have. So no girl has an excuse. If you are having a relationship with a male, you have no excuse to not know. What do you get on your grade, honey? Before they kiss you, they want to come and kiss you. Go, whoa, what did you get on your report card? Yeah. Baby. Yeah, they say babe or whatever they call you, right? Hey, baby, what do you got on your report card? That you tell them, no, I can't. I don't feel like kissing. I like A's. You tell me some A's, I get real kissy mood. That's all you guys have to do. It's very simple. Don't give him any kisses. Don't give him any hugging. Don't give him any pudding for sure. Until he gets A's. Now, even when he gets the A's, I do not give anyone permission to give some pudding. So don't misunderstand my language. I'm just saying they really shouldn't be getting a kiss from you if they're not performing in their studies. Simple as that. Simple as that. We can fix this problem real quick. Nosotros podemos arreglar este asunto que si el hombre, el varón viene a ti y te quiere besar, y eso, espera, dame ver el reporte de la escuela. Excuse me. Vamos a ver el reporte en la escuela. Si no tiene A, pues mija, ¿y tú sabes lo que pasa? Que a mí las A me excitan. Tú tienes que decir eso al varón. Me excita, me calienta. Eso me estimula tremendamente. A mí oh my goodness, lo que tú hiciste, dañaste esto. Fuera, peste esto. Eso es todo lo que tiene que hacer. All right. So that is, again, a thing that women can do to start fixing the problem is start letting the requirements of manhood bring it back up to the front stage instead of burying it under all the other garbage that only lets a guy off the hook now and later. Así que lo que hay que hacer es dejar que los requisitos de ser hombre vuelven a su lugar primordial, en vez de dejarlo allí escondido atrás por estar entreteniendo los machos con otras cosas que no son importantes. So that's really the bottom line. That's absolutely the bottom line. So again, it's on the ladies, not on the men, because the men will get what they can get when they can get it. Los hombres hallan lo que se puede hallar cuando se puede hallar. So no es el hombre que se va a mejorar sin que las mujeres ayuden. Now it's interesting. And why is that? ¿Por qué es así? Porque sencillamente, and let's go to the scripture now. You had your Bibles for some reason. It wasn't to cover your lap. But here, let's go into the scripture now. Vamos a ir a la escritura aquí, que lo tienen en sobre su, ¿cómo se dice? Anyway, you got it in English and laughed. All right, Genesis 1:26, Génesis 1:26. It says, then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and to rule over the earth and livestock and over all the earth and over every creepy thing that creeps upon the earth. Génesis 1:27, Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them, right? Let's get this. Vamos a buscar esto en español un poco. To get the Spanish version. Entonces Dios creó al hombre a su propia imagen. A imagen de Dios lo creó, hombre y mujer lo creó. So basically, what you have to understand, and the reasons I said what I said prior, was because man is made in the image of God. El hombre está hecho en la semejanza de Dios, en la imagen y semejanza de Dios. Okay. This is what man, that's what man is. Eso es lo que el hombre es, right? So that is the goal, because since man sinned, we sinned and fell from the glory of God. That is what our goal is to get back to that level. Nuestro meta ahora, como hemos pecado delante de Dios, el hombre pecó y fue destituido de la gloria de Dios, dice la palabra de Dios. Entonces, nuestra meta como hombre es de llegar a volver a esa etapa otra vez. ¿Sí? So that is the mission of every male and female. We all both have a mission, and because a lot of people don't realize that really what marriage is getting back to the image and likeness of God. Now, we're going to talk about marriage next week. Nosotros vamos a hablar de matrimonio la semana que viene. Pero sépase que el propósito, la meta de cada hombre y de cada mujer es de alcanzar, volver a la imagen, hacerse, a realizar en ellos la imagen y semejanza de Dios. So that is your focus. It isn't having sex. No es teniendo sexo. It isn't kissing. It isn't hugging. It's returning to the image and likeness of God, our Creator. Es volviendo a la imagen y semejanza de Dios, nuestro Creador. Eso es nuestra meta. No el sexo. No los besos. So again, the reasoning to make your relationship aspire and demonstrate successes over their failures is because that's the purpose of our lives, is to overcome failures and succeed, drawing closer and closer to the image and likeness of the God who created us. Así que ese es nuestro propósito, es sobrevivenciar los fallos en nuestra vida y alcanzar victorias y victoria para llegar a la imagen y semejanza del Dios que nos creó. So that is the goal in life. Many people have goals in life. But realize that the goals that you have are part of the bigger picture of achievement. Realiza que las metas, mucha gente tiene diferentes metas, pero realiza que las metas que uno tiene en la vida
son nada más que en el espectrum de los triunfos en el alcance de la imagen y semejanza de Dios. So it's part of the spectrum. There's spectrums of autism, for example, of diseases. There's different spectrum. There's parts of a spectrum. But no one seems to talk about the spectrum of the image and glory of God. Because as each of us has different goals, goals are always achievements. They're not failures. They're achievements. They are gains, not losses. Few people have goals of losses. Few people have, if any, have goals of failure. Right? Failure is part of winning. Losses are part of gaining. But those losses and failures are not our goals. The goals are the wins, are the successes, the progressions, the achievements, the gains. Así que aunque el fallo es parte del triunfo, aunque los fracasos son parte del éxito, nadie tiene fracasos y nadie tiene fallos como metas. Nuestras metas son el alcance de cosas, de estatus, de cumplimientos, de cosas construidas, terminadas. All right? So, y eso es, cualquiera de esas cosas, como son diferentes para todos, forman parte individual, pero parte enteramente de nuestro alcance al volver a la imagen y semejanza de nuestro Dios creador. All of it, todo ello. So we need to realize that when you are in a relationship, look at what it is you're doing. I'm going to prove it to you right here, because even those who just thinking about sex, let me show you something. Así mismo que aquellos solo piensan en el sexo, le voy a demostrar que lo que dije ahora es exactamente válido, aunque tenga ese pensar. I'm going to look at it in here, but let's see. Yeah, okay. Vamos a volver en Génesis 1:28. We'll go in Genesis 1:28 and see what it says. It says, and God blessed them. That's the male and female that he created in his image and likeness. And what did he say to them? And God said to them, be fruitful, sex, and multiply, sex. See? And fill the earth, sex. See? So God told man and woman to have sex. There is nothing outside, again, of the fact that male and female are on their mission to fulfill God's will in our lives in the image and likeness of God. En la imagen y semejanza de Dios, aquí en Génesis 1:28 dice ser fructífero y multiplicar y llenar la tierra. Let's see if we can get that in a better, smoother Spanish. Dice, ser fructífero, multiplícate y llena la tierra, right? So that's it. Eso es sexo. Fructífero, sexo. Multiplícate, sexo. Llena la tierra, mucho sexo, okay? So, again, the thinking that, sex, that a lot... seeing anyone's comments, so just keep hunting us down in Facebook as you catch us. Okay, no es distante, it isn't distant, because we're getting some disconnection advisements, it's having issues with the stream. Yeah, see, we're disconnected. So keep looking for us. If you get disconnected, just keep refreshing or going back into finding the newer post again, where it reposts 2, 3 times. However, this is bad today. Usually does it one time. Today it's already done it 3 times. So you see that. So again, and I think someone was saying that it could be an attack. Someone is mounting like a DOS attack on against the stream. So that's a possibility. So again, they that goes to show you that they're trying to shut it down. Why? Even again, they don't want the truth. But there's no other reason, to shut it down. They don't want the truth to be said. So this is it. This is the real battle here. Así que no quieren la verdad que se diga, que se revela. So es el asunto. So nosotros estamos en esta lucha continua y tecnológicamente estamos en esta lucha ahorita también. So anyway, so even if you're thinking, if you're looking at a man sexually, and for a woman, it's more like, caressing and the kissing, and just feeling loved. If that's all you're seeing, you're short sighting yourself, and you're not helping yourself, and you're definitely not helping the man. The bottom line is this, ladies: men need help. Now, if I took one of your legs, would you need help walking? Right? Si yo te cortara una pierna, ¿necesitaría ayuda a caminar? Si yo te cortare, que quitare un brazo de ti, ¿necesitaría ayuda para hacer varias cosas que necesitan 2 manos? Seguro que sí. Let me show you what God did. I'm going to prove to you that man needs your help. Voy a comprobar que el hombre necesita su ayuda. See, and this is more important than sex. That's my whole point. Es más importante que el sexo es la ayuda que necesita el hombre. So let's look in Génesis 2. Okay, and then it says here, en verso, let's see, all right, and 21. Genesis 2, verse 21. This is what it said, verso 21 de Génesis 2. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, where in Hebrew it says his side. So the whole side, right? So it could have been, it could have been, it's what's describing really, is half of the rib cage, not just one bone, but actually his side. He took it and closed up the flesh in its place. So Dios quitó una parte del hombre, y de esa parte del hombre Dios creó la mujer. Dios hizo la mujer. Pero la mujer era ¿qué? What was the woman? God made woman from man. God only made man. He only made one person in the beginning. But then he took and put Adam to sleep and took from Adam his side, his ribs, and made a woman, made Eve. This is why Adam said, you see in verse 23, esto porque Adán dijo en verso 23, this is now bone of my bones. He was asleep. And flesh of my flesh. He was asleep. See, I'm pointing this out. A lot of people don't realize something. They read, but they don't realize. Wait a minute. Adam was asleep. He wasn't a dummy. He was asleep, but he wasn't dummy. He recognized Eve as being bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. That's how keen Adam was. He wasn't a dodo. He wasn't a dodo. You see that, ladies? God did not have Eve marry a dodo. God had Eve marry someone with a brain who, even though he was asleep at the time, see, even though he was asleep at the time, when he woke up and saw this wonderful woman, he recognized her as being bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. He recognized it. He recognized a lot of things. He named all the animals before. Look here. 20. And Adam gave names to all the cattle. See? All the animals, or to all the fowl in the air, to every beast of the field. Adam was not a dodo. Adam had a brain. Adán tenía un cerebro. Él dio los nombres a los animales. Él reconocía las distinciones en lo que él veía. This is how intelligent Adam was, very sharp. And when he sees this new creature by his side, he realizes, this is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh. A genius. Era el genio este muchacho, Adán. See? Again, the girls may be asking, who should I marry, God? God, send me someone that I can love, someone that's going to be the man for me. God is showing you your man. Dios te está, algunos oran, el Señor, envíame a mi hombre, envíame con quien yo voy a casar. Dios te está enseñando. El que te reconoce como hueso de mi hueso, carne de mi carne. El que tiene el cerebro, el intelecto para reconocer. You see, the guy, you have to understand that, you have to, give yourself to the one who recognizes you as the bone of their bone and the flesh of their flesh. So that is someone that is not having sex with you. Did Adam have sex with Eve before recognizing who Eve was? No. Adán no tuvo relaciones sexuales con Eva para entonces decir, este es mi hueso de mi hueso, esto es carne de mi carne. Eve was recognized. Eva fue reconocida. Santo, gloria a Dios. ¡Woo! Fue reconocida. Santo Dios. Amen. That's big stuff. That is gigantic. See? That's what matters. There is no sex. There's no kissing. There's no hugging. There's no caressing. There was recognition. So, in order for you ladies to do things right and set things right, okay, you need to begin to follow what God has instructed, how God did things, and shows you how they are to be done in the scripture. Simple. Nosotros tenemos que dejar, las mujeres tienen que dejarse llevar con lo que dice la escritura, como lo dice, porque te está dando sabiduría la escritura. A woman first, you need to know what it is to be a woman. I did that last week, a part of it. Just keep listening to these teachings. Over the months and years, I always go into talking about women and men and relationships all the time, throughout different types of teaching. So you just keep listening. But otherwise, you need to educate yourself on who you are and what you are. You're a woman, and the Bible clearly defines wisdom is supposed to be part of what you are made of. The way you think, you should be thinking wisely, but you need to be understanding these things. You don't need to be selling yourself short or cheaply, and giving guys, you're making guys, it's these guys who start looking at women like sexual objects, because of course their relationships, and relationships are not one-on-one, people to people. These guys are having relationships through their computers, through their phones. You see, you get guys out there, and all you're doing is learning in your mind, your mentality is developing a relationship with a phone girl. Los machos están desarrollando relaciones con muchachas de teléfono, de computadora. Eso no son, uh, eso no son mujeres, en verdad. These are not real women. Yet you're having a relationship by phone. Pero está teniendo una relación por teléfono. Está teniendo una relación sexual even a través de la computadora. Eso no es real. That's fake. That's fake relationships. Computers relating with a woman, a female on a computer, and vice versa. You ladies looking at a guy on your phone. That's not reality. That's not real. You're developing fake. And when you get married, are you going to just talk to each other through the phone? Is that the way it's going to work? So, and then we're going to lay one on one bed, the lady on the other bed, and just connect through the cell phone and have cell sex or phone sex. Is that the way it's going to be? Because that's not real. Eso no es la verdad. You understand? That's not a way to develop a healthy relationship. Eso no son maneras de desarrollar relaciones sexuales, saludables, ni tampoco relaciones sexuales. All right. So again, the way you do things matters. La manera que tú haces las cosas importa. All right. So again, can you imagine? There was no cell phone here. There's no phone sex. There is no internet here. You can't have a relationship on a computer, through a computer. Tú no puedes desarrollar una relación en computadora. I mean, obviously, you can meet folks. We can talk. I mean, I fight with people on Facebook, right? Yo peleo con gente en el Facebook, but that's not real. I'm not fighting with them. And you shouldn't, even if you're fighting with someone, debating with someone, no one should be personally offended or really get angry at you, really, because it's not real. I don't take anything real on social media. Some people do, but they're wrong. They're just simply wrong. You shouldn't take anything real or anything personal. Uno no debe tomar ninguna cosa como real o como personal en las redes sociales. Eso es computadora, So that's a mistake people make. Es un error que hace la gente. But of course, you shouldn't be dealing with dodo, right, young lady? Usted no debe estar bregando con las personas sin capacidad, ¿verdad? So again, this is not a thing for you guys to be doing. The ladies, you need to keep yourself safe. Don't engage online anything. Don't have any relationships online. No tenga relaciones en línea. It's not real. And you save yourself from danger, because there's some people who use the fake social media, contacting you on social media, and they're not who they say they are. It's fake. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for the fake stuff on social media. It's fake. Then they want to go see you. Let's see. Let's meet up here and there. See that? You're going to get yourselves into trouble. These are traps. Do not engage in the social media trappings, because you will get trapped and you will find yourself in a place that you cannot extricate yourself from. Do not get involved with that. No, no te metes en las redes sociales, estás jugando y estás desarrollando una persona sexual, sensual o relaciones íntimos con personas en línea. Tú no lo conoces. Eso no es verdadero. So what happened? Let me show you what happened. See me. Look how easy this is. If you're a young man, and the women, you need to listen to this so you understand men, because men, let me tell you, if you start having relationships with a cell phone, okay, meaning fake, it's fake, it's not real, it's not real person to person. When you start doing that, that means that you're learning relationship, you're learning to relate to the opposite sex, and in some cases out there, the same sex, because some people are into that. But you're learning to deal with it on the through digital formats, which are fake. It's a fake thing. You're talking to a computer, you're typing onto a handheld. Usted está hablando con una computadora, está typeando una máquina. Esa es la relación. All of that becomes part of a relationship. When you want to have a normal relationship, cuando tú quieres, desea tener una relación normal, you don't know what that looks like. Tú no sabes cómo parece eso. Especially if it's with the person you've been having this with for forever. Especialmente si es una persona que tú has tenido esto para siempre. Y eso es todo las mujeres que tú has tenido, varón. So this is the only women you've had in your life. That's it. Then how is it that you're going to develop a normal relationship with a real woman or with a real person? You're starting from square one, but unfortunately, you're not on square one. That's the problem. Usted, si está haciendo eso, usted está empezando en el primer cuadro, pero no en el primer cuadro. Because you already started the relationship digital. And that's all you know about relationships is digital. So now when the real thing comes, you don't know how to deal with it. You're not going to know how to deal with it. The relationship isn't real. And the ladies, you have to realize that your relationship isn't real. Why do all these guys want to have sex? ¿Por qué todos estos muchachos quieren tener sexo? Porque ellos están viendo sexo en la línea, en las máquinas. Tú vienes a ser una extensión, no lo real, sino una extensión de lo que están viendo en los videos. Por eso quieren hacer esto, quieren hacer lo otro. And you guys know that. You guys know you want to do this, do that. Why? Because you saw it on the video. And that's what you want to bring into this real thing, what you saw on the fake stuff. But this defines your real relationship, the fake stuff. When I say fake stuff, I'm talking about it's fake to you because it's not real to you. It's not something you are doing. Now you want to do this to make it real because you learned it here. Don't you see? But you're taking a real relationship, which may have had a chance to be a good one, but you're messing it up with the fake stuff. You're turning it into your digital experiences. Usted está convirtiendo la relación natural que podía haber sido puro, que podía haber sido lindo y natural como Dios lo quiere y lo está pervirtiendo con lo que ha visto en los videos. Y como eso cosa en video, here comes the big part here. Since you saw those things on the video and that has taken preeminence because you brought it into the real thing, meaning that what was more important instead of the real thing being natural, what was more important for you to have your fake stuff in it. You've made the real relationship a fake one, which means that just like you can turn off the phone or go and choose another girl to watch, now it's easy also for you. And ladies, hear me. You let the man bring in the fake. You have allowed him also to change the channel. Así que si tú has permitido que el hombre trayese adentro de su relación lo falso, pues ahora también lo ha empoderado a cambiar el canal o apagar el canal a su gusto. So he continues from his video watching, and since he saw, I'm going to make it like simple. He saw white ones, he saw brown ones, he saw black ones, and he goes from one to the other, Asian one, and this and that. What happens is that then also over time, he will do the same with your relationship. El hombre que va y ve las chicas en los videos, con el tiempo, como ya tú le permitiste entrar en su vida real con lo falso, entonces va a querer en un futuro, con el tiempo, va a querer cambiar de canal, a ver la morenita, a ver la blanquita, a ver la latina, a ver la asiática, etcétera, etcétera. Son posibles, son posibilidades. Puede ser más fácil. No que lo va a hacer, seguro, eso lo van a hacer, no. Pero va a ser más fácil que lo haga. So it isn't that, automatically that they do that. I'm just saying that it's easier for them to do that. So simply when you bring in and introduce it, and you allow and you participate in their digital extension, then you are allowing and permitting the possibility, the potential as well of changing the channels, of watching and doing something else or someone else. You introduce that to your own relationship and not giving it a chance. So again, there's a lot of reasons, ladies, for yourself to be careful. See, how to deal with a man is to be careful with yourself. Cómo tratar a un hombre, cómo bregar con los hombres, ser cuidadosa y respetuosa a ti misma. You have to have self-respect first. Y dejarte respetar y demandarlo. You have to demand respect. That's how you deal with men. You have to correct or prevent yourself from being exposed to that baloney, to anything that they were taught wrong or they developed wrongly in their lives, like not getting A's, the same problem. Tú tienes que protegerte de respaldar o permitir los males que ese hombre haya aprendido o desarrollado en su vida personal, privada, sexual. Tú tienes que proteger y respetarte a sí misma y dejarte respetar, no permitirlo. That's why I'm saying that you cannot put aside a boyfriend because he doesn't bring A's to his family, those that feed him, those that gave birth to him. He has no respect to bring them A's. What is he going to respect you? You have to demand respect. Santo, do not ask for respect from a man Later on, you gave him pudding and he's failing school. You gave him pudding and he doesn't know how to get an A in school. What are you waiting? What do you expect? Again, you got the DEFs, especially the F, in school and in bed. You're not going to get no ABCs. Así que usted le dio todo en la cama, usted le dio, usted aceptó, buscó lo D y el E y el F en la escuela y en la cama, no espere el ABC. So, how women should deal with men is they need to have self-respect before they start dealing with a man. And the man needs to recognize, first the woman has self-respect, the man has to recognize who she is. El hombre tiene que reconocer lo que ella es y reconocer esta mujer merece respeto. You know, the man has to look at you and say, you know, you deserve respect. If he looks at you and he sees someone that he can go into bed with, then that's it. It's garbage. It's garbage in and garbage out. Así que si el hombre te mira y te ve como una experiencia de cama, de sexo, pues ya es basura entra y basura sale. So the first thing is that a woman really needs to put a stop on the BS. La mujer tiene que parar la porquería, pararlo, no permitirlo. And that's the first thing that she has to do. La sabiduría es la sabiduría y el amor que tiene que tener una mujer, as we studied last week. We studied that a woman has to have wisdom. She has to love her husband, love her children. And because you love your children, particularly because you know, a lot of you can love your husband, but you don't love the children because you married Dodo. Your husband happens to be an idiot. You don't love your children. Así que tú casaste con un idiota. Tú no amas a sus hijos. Okay? I'm not here to criticize the ladies. Yo estoy aquí para criticar a la mujer, pero tengo que hablar las cosas verdaderamente. Y ser claro. I have to speak clearly. I'm not meaning to be offensive. But the world is the way it is because women are giving it up in bed at any cost and to anything. El mundo está como está porque las mujeres se dan en sexo a cualquier cosa que viene. Esa es la razón que hay estos problemas. That's why I got the kid. I'm thankful to God for the kids that I'm helping. But I also realize that they're here because you guys do the wrong thing. See that? That's why I know what I'm saying, because I have to deal with a lot of the garbage you guys do. And believe me, I'm polishing the best I can. It's not easy. Yo estoy bregando, puliendo esta basura que tiran por ahí, las mujeres que se dejan embasurar por basura, se ensucian con basura, se estremecen con la basura. Entonces yo hago lo más que yo puedo hacer para hacer brillar la basura que han tirado en este mundo. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality that's going on. I do a good job, but I am unique. Yo soy único. No que soy el único, sino que hay muy pocos hombres y mi esposa, mujeres como ella, que pueden pulir y enderezar muchos de los niños producto de esos desastres que salen por ahí. Nosotros tenemos talento, tenemos don de Dios para hacerlo, porque entendemos lo de Dios, lo que Dios ha creado, so, entendemos cómo arreglar ciertas cosas, pero la mayoría de personas no. This is a fact. We understand what God is teaching. We see it, we learn it, we apply it on these kids. It works. But how many people out there are like me? It's a handful, right? Everyone's not like me. And my wife here, my wife is a find. Mi esposa es un tesoro, algo que se encuentra muy poco. I found her, you know, it's a treasure. And believe me, I've been looking. There's been women who've been looking for years at me, but I found a treasure. See that? Hay mujeres que me han mirado, me han buscado por muchos años y yo también he visto muchas mujeres. Pero la esposa que yo tengo es un tesoro. Yo he encontrado un tesoro. And ladies, that's something you want your man to be able to say about you. I found a treasure with this woman. And it's not because of what goes on in bed. Y no es porque lo que pasa en cama. Eso no es lo importante. Because that's really not the important part. The important part is wisdom. The important part is loving your husband and loving your children. And for a man to be a man and to do what a man needs to do. Y hay que amar los hijos, eso es lo importante, amar a su marido, ser sabio. Y que el hombre haga lo que el hombre tiene que hacer. Okay, so we've done a lot on the beginnings of troubles for women dealing with men. And I think we've done that enough, right? Because I think either you guys now learned what to do in the future, and you're not married yet, or you ladies realize that you stuck your foot into it, or someone stuck their foot into it. And so now the question becomes, what do you do now? Así que la pregunta, nosotros hemos hablado mucho de el principio de dolores, cuando tienen que bregarse con el hombre. Ahora vamos a enfocarnos un poco sobre qué hacer, ya que nos metimos las patas o se metieron las patas en ti. Bueno, whatever it is in your case. And so many women have an idea or they think they can change a man. Muchas mujeres piensan o tienen una idea de que ellos pueden cambiar a un hombre. Okay. Now, the only people that are changeable, that they are malleable, are younger children, teenagers. And even then, they're not really malleable any longer. See that? So the imagination that you can marry a man and change him is a big imaginative concept. Okay? El hecho de que tú piensas que un joven de 12 hasta 17 años de edad son difíciles de cambiar, porque el desarrollo del hombre, el desarrollo de una persona se termina mayormente en los 12 años de edad. Basically when a child gets to his 12th year, they're pretty much structured. They're wired up pretty much at 12 years of age. Yeah, they can learn other things. They're still learnable, but changeable, that's really very, very difficult for teenagers. So thinking that you're going to marry a guy, I'll make him change, he'll change, is that don't believe that. No cree eso. Okay. The only way, because and it's more because of your attitude, because you're saying it that way. I'll change him. I'll find a way to change him. I can change. See, that attitude already will meet with failure. Tener la mentalidad que usted va a cambiar un hombre es ya una mentalidad fallada. What you can do, the thing that changes a man more, I'm going to say right now what it is. Lo que cambia un hombre más es la sabiduría de una mujer, o lo que se llama la mujer virtuosa. What can change a man, the only thing, is really a wise woman, a woman of wisdom, and a virtuous woman. What the Proverbs calls a virtuous woman, a woman of virtue, which means that this woman knows how to do great things, and is helpful. Remember why God made a woman. You have to go to the beginning. Hay que ir al principio y ver por qué Dios hizo la mujer. So let's look at that in scripture, because you have to realize that that is where your power lies. El poder de la mujer cae en reconocer lo que Dios, el propósito que Dios, por lo cual Dios hizo la mujer. And you see that in Genesis chapter 2, verse 20. Aquí en capítulo 2 de Génesis, verso 20, nos revela que es el propósito por lo cual la mujer fue hecha. So here it is. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. Una ayuda idónea. Ayuda. Help. See? So this is the strength of the woman. This is where you have your most power. When, again, help meet. And we put, to make this simple, I don't want to go into the word meanings and the Hebrew here, but just simply the word help. It suffices for what we need right now. No quiero entrar mucho a hebreo, en muchas de las palabras, los significados, pero la palabra ayuda es suficiente para nosotros usarlo para nuestro entendimiento del propósito que Dios, por lo cual Dios hizo la mujer. And if you're fitting with the purpose of God, then that is your strong suit. You have to understand that God didn't make you to do something else. He made you for this. That is your strength. That is your powerhouse. Cuando Dios te hizo por un propósito, ese es su fuerza. Eso es tu lugar de poder, de autoridad, de dominio. So ahí tú tienes más fuerza. Ahí tú tienes más derecho, más dominio. Okay? Ahí está tu poder. So if you young lady and ladies, you need to understand that your greatest power and influence with a man is in helping. In helping. It makes it nice and simple. I can make this very complicated. I can make this a complex study, and in other environments, I do. We do have a course that teaches marriage, relationships. We go into the psychology. I can give you a lot of stuff here. We don't need to do that. Simply help. The Bible says help. And again, helping doesn't mean that you are less. Ayudar no quiere decir que tú eres menos. Yo puedo ser más complicado, más complejo en explicación, pero no es necesario. Eso yo lo tengo en otros cursos, en clases en la universidad. No tengo que traer eso aquí, pero simplemente ayuda es bastante. Pero el término ayudar no quiere decir que uno es menos, el ayudante es menos, no. There's a whole mess of people who have other people, businesses. Let's talk about business. Vamos a hablar de negocio un momento. There's a whole bunch of businesses that hire people to do what they cannot do. Hay negocios que emplean personas o otros negocios para hacer lo que ellos no pueden hacer. Esos negocios son ayudan, ¿sí? Son ayudantes a ese negocio. So those businesses that are hired or contracted, or individuals who are hired and contracted to help, they are not less than the company that hired them. They are doing something that company cannot do for themselves. That is helping. Estamos ayudando es una compañía que no lo puede hacer por ellos mismos. ¿Sí? Where we get the wrong idea about help is from childhood, donde nosotros encontramos la mala concepto de ayudar, que es menos, es de nuestra niñez, and also, by the way, from slavery. The both are the same thing in that sense, because we take it in a negative way and we're not understanding what it is in reality. También se puede decir lo mismo de la esclavitud, porque lo estamos tomando en una forma equivocada y no estamos realizando la similitud o la similaridad entre la esclavitud y el niñez. Okay? But we'll continue. And what happens is that when you have children, we tell the children to help out around the house, help. And the things we tell the children to do are always things that we can do ourselves, right? So since we grow up helping mom and dad, helping our brothers and sisters, helping, we get the idea that helping is a lesser than the one that we are serving, right? Because again, we're doing something that they could do, but they rather not do it for whatever reason. Again, why do children develop this concept and why do we hold on to this concept throughout life? Is because the children are not realizing, and some parents don't realize, most parents don't realize either, that the reason you're having your kids help is so they can learn how to do things and how to solve problems. It's not that mommy and daddy need the help. And sometimes you do. It's overwhelming. Sometimes there's so much to do, right? But that's another issue. But the thing is that the main reason to give the child this task to do, to help, is so that the child learns how to do things in life. That is really the main reason. La razón principal es que el niño aprenda qué hacer en la vida. But of course, since kids and we grow up as kids, we don't learn. We think that we're giving them stuff to do just so that they can do it and help, but they can't do what they want to do, and they start twisting it into other things that are really not the point. And so they miss the point of the teaching. They grow up to be adults, and they get this attitude that the help is less than the one requesting the assistance. Así que tenemos una actitud después que la ayuda, porque los niños desarrollan esta idea y no hay buena enseñanza en el hogar, el niño es permitido extraer una negativa experiencia del ayudar y que ayudar es ser esclavo de los adultos y entonces cuando llega a, también a ser adulto empieza a poner abajo cualquiera que ayuda, pero eso no es la ayuda correcta, eso no es el propósito de la ayuda. The help is really doing what the other person cannot do for themselves. That doesn't make you lesser than they. It makes you stronger than them. In fact, see, when you start looking at things the right way, then you get it right. Cuando usted empieza a ver las cosas correctamente, entonces ya tú tienes las cosas correctamente. Cuando tú estás ayudando a alguien, tú estás en poder. That's why Jesus said that the leader here is the servant. People don't understand. How is it that the servant is the leader here? Because the servant, the one who's helping, is the one doing what the other guys couldn't figure out how to get done. Because the bottom of the line, at the end of the day, you can't figure out a better way to get all these things done without getting the help. That's the plain and simple. So it's actually a lacking of ability of the person asking for the help at the end of the day. Así que el que pide la ayuda o los que piden estos asistentes y estos ayudantes es porque no han podido solucionar el problema de que ellos no pueden hacer todo esto ellos mismos. Por eso el ayudante es mayor, es el líder de los que piden la ayuda. Y por eso Jesús dijo lo que dijo. Biblically speaking, spiritually speaking, the way God made things, the helper is the stronger. Como Dios hizo la cosa, el ayudante es el más fuerte. Now, and that's not in all things, no es en todas las cosas, but in that area, in those areas, en esas áreas. Por eso, when God made Eve, he made her as a helpmeet, because now taking her from his side and giving Eve, because part of what Adam was, Adam became weaker. Adán se hizo menos, se hizo más débil, porque Dios tomó de él para formar a Eva. So, hay que entender, Adán ya no era completo. Adam wasn't complete any longer. He was perfect and complete before God took something from him to make Eve. Antes que Dios hiciera Eva de Adán, Adán era completo y perfecto. Pero tomó de Adán y entonces lo dio a Eva. Ya Adán no era completo como originalmente lo fue. So Adam was no longer as complete as he was before the creation of Eve. So obviously in certain areas, the areas that were now given to Eve, Adam was now deficient. Ahora Adán era deficiente en las áreas que fue entregado a Eva. So, again, by the woman, Eve, being a help to, she needed to be a help. Adam needed her help. And that's the strength of the woman. So the woman has to understand that her strength in a relationship is being a help to the man. That's not subservient. That's doing what the man cannot possibly do. Simple. Esto es haciendo, la mujer es fuerte para hacer aquello que el hombre no puede hacer sencillamente. No es solamente dar luz a hijos, pero es importante, ¿no? So it isn't only giving birth to kids, which is important too, but it's not limited to that. There's a lot more that God gave woman and took it away from man. That man needs now her help. Period. Simple. To be equal. He cannot be the same until the woman does her helping. El hombre no puede ser su perfección hasta que la mujer haga su ayuda. That way, listen, a woman is a great blessing to a man. You have to realize this. You're not, we women are not in competition with men. La mujer no está en competencia con el hombre, which is another thing that you see in this. God didn't make you to compete with women. He didn't make a woman so that man can see her as a subservient to him either. It's a help meet. You guys are the same thing. You're one flesh. It's like I have two hands here. One is here and this one. We're helping each other. That is what a relationship is supposed to be. La relación debe ser ayudando. La mujer y el hombre se ayudan. Vamos a hacer esto, vamos a construir casa, vamos a sembrar la finca, vamos a producir economía para los hijos, vamos a enderezar los hijos, vamos a enseñarlos. Dos manos. So it's two hands working together to build the house, to build the farm, to grow the food, to produce the economy for our family, to help our children prosper in the future. Help them. You understand? Help our family achieve its goals. That's why you have the two hands for. Por eso tú tienes las dos manos. So it cannot happen if the woman attacks her husband or if you guys are in a relationship, you have to understand that this is not about fighting. I mean, that happens, but it usually happens when somebody is overstepping where they're supposed to be. That's really where the fighting begins. Someone stopped or forgot to stay on task. Las peleas suceden muchas veces cuando uno de los dos o dos no hacen lo que estaban supuestos a hacer. Y ahí forman las peleas, los desacuerdos. They shouldn't be. You have a goal. Did you sit down? Do you know what your goals are? So we're going to talk a lot about this for next week, the marriage thing. We'll talk a lot about what happens there. But it starts happening early on in the relationship. The woman the man, has to be on point with what he's supposed to be doing. And you cannot see the woman as a competitor to you. So there's no reason for a man to make a woman feel less. Never. Nunca debe el hombre hacer humillar a la mujer. ¿Ok? Siempre debe tener la mujer en igualdad, en estima igual. The woman has to always be in equal esteem by the man. Because again, how does anyone get away with teaching that the woman is lower than the man, less than the man, when Adam himself says that this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh? You saw it. Usted lo vio aquí en la escritura. And granted, after sin, things change. We understand that. Nosotros entendemos que después del pecado, cosas cambiaron. But still, again, our goal is to reach again the image of God and the likeness of God. So this is where we're heading. This is where we're supposed to be heading toward. Bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. Esa debe ser la aspiración. Hueso de mi hueso, carne de mi carne. All right? So to insist that no, the woman sinned, and so that's it. They're now slaves to us, putting them down. This is not coming back to where we need to be. Eso, la actitud de estar poniendo a la mujer abajo y que son menos, no es lo que la palabra de Dios enseña en Génesis que debemos de estar alcanzando o buscando hacer. So yeah, one thing is the goal, the other thing is the realities of, you know, whatever state we're in sin. But we don't have to stay in sin. That's the point. Nosotros sabemos que en el pecado pues las cosas se desordenaron, pero no tenemos que quedarnos allí. That's the whole point. All right, so that's what it is. Aquí, así que, so the woman should never, again, realize that the woman is not to criticize the man or to make the man either feel humble. There's no reason for it. In fact, you see in the New Testament, you'll see that a woman has to receive the man as the head of the house. El hombre es cabeza del hogar. El hombre fue creado primero. Man was made first. The male was made first. Okay. So because of that, the female doesn't have to be in the man's face trying to put the man down in any moment or any time of day. I mean, the way you help the man be better is by being wise and being virtuous. That's how you assist the man in being better. Of course, that's assuming you chose wisely. Asumiendo que tú escogiste con sabiduría. El hombre no necesita su crítica, sino su ayuda para hacer las cosas bien hechas. So, and again, the man has to be a man. I mean, I can't help you guys. Listen, you know, some people you wanna do things the wrong way. Y hay mujeres que quieren meterse con el hombre que no es hombre. Y después quieren que uno le ayude. Ay, ¿cómo arreglo a este hombre? Que esto, no, es que tú querías otra vez. Usted buscaste lo que buscaste, entonces quiere después ayuda. You know, you look for trouble. You're looking for stuff that you shouldn't be looking for. And then later, you're asking for help. So again, you have to fix your own problem first, which is what caused you to make the wrong decision back in the day when you did it. See? So these are the things you have to admit. And frankly, you're going to have to swallow a lot. Y ahora, después que tú has hecho el error, mucho tiene que tragártelo. Because you cannot force people. You're not going to force your husband in this case. And guys, the same thing with your ladies. If you didn't choose rightly in the first place, how are you thinking you're going to make her do the right thing now? What right do you have? You don't have any. Así que tú no tienes derecho de demandar que después que tú hiciste la mala decisión, que ahora las personas que tú recibiste en tu vida, ahora que se arreglan ellos. No. Usted escogió lo que escogiste. So again, that is why the elderly women, the ones with wisdom, can now tell the young ones, don't do the mistake I did. No haga el error que yo hice, puede decirlo ancianas, las jóvenes. No haga el error que yo hice. Learn to recognize what is the right thing, righteousness, and do it, pursue it. All right, so I've been teaching you guys today how to deal with a man. The man is the head of the household. Simply don't contend with him. No contende con la cabeza de la casa. It's like the body fighting with the head. that you're talking about someone with some mental problems, right? Or some neurological problems where it's like this. It's just like the woman, doing whatever she wants to do, not respecting the man who's trying to give a teaching, trying to do the work of God, and she's over here, doing whatever she wants to do. That is not what a woman's supposed to be doing for her man. See, okay? This is what a woman's supposed to be doing for her man. Look. See? A helpmeet. Because when you make your man feel good about himself and you make him able to improve himself, to look good, to think well, to think clearly, to do his job better, make everything, put it on the right way and do that, then you'll get better results. And maybe the dodo can learn a thing or two. You know what? This was always the best way to do that. I was dumb, insisting that it be this way. And my wife now, with her kindness and her patience, she was right all the time. I better start listening to her because I look foolish if I don't do. See, again, if you chose the right man, he's going to admit, I was stupid, man. I was stupid. Because even a stupid person can learn. You guys understand that? It's not an issue if they're stupid or not. An issue is, do they have the capacity of recognizing that they made a mistake? It's a simple thing, folks. Esto es sencillo, no es que el hombre sea inteligente, que sea inteligente, genio. Es que el hombre tenga la capacidad de reconocer que está equivocado y arreglarse y mejorarse y reconocer, mira, mija, muchas gracias por lo que usted está haciendo. Me ayudaste a reconocer que yo estaba mal. Ese es el hombre. You see that? Yes, that's the man. A man that recognizes when he's wrong and learns. That's the best type of man you can ever get. So again, it depends on what you're working with. But definitely, in any, like I said, in any situation you find yourself in, wisdom is your best remedy. En cualquier situación que tú te encuentres, la sabiduría es tu remedio mejor. Okay? Usando la sabiduría, no la boca. Men usually don't like this. Okay? El hombre normalmente no le gusta a la mujer que siempre está y criticando. It's not a thing that men enjoy. No es algo que el hombre le guste. Okay. Now, if you're dealing with an intelligent and wise man, they can put up with it. Si estás bregando con un hombre inteligente, con sabiduría, pues pueden ellos soportar aquello. Pero en realidad la mujer debe de, aguantarse y usar la sabiduría para mejorar las situaciones. So a woman, even though her tendency is to talk and complain and whine, her best move is to be wise and to assist her, help her husband in accomplishing things, in learning things. Let him figure it out. Let him, you just make it ready and everything ready for him to learn. So again, we're getting a lot into the marriage thing. We're finishing here today, and next week we're going to get into marriage. But that's how you learn to deal with men is understanding that man, you know, you're not there to compete with a man. You're there to you know, you'll again after you've made a good choice and you say, you know, I can be, we can start going out, you and I, if you're in a relationship, and it's really to discover more about the man. Because again, before you make decision and before you give up pudding after marriage, get one of these. See this? That's first, then pudding. Okay? And I don't mean a friendship ring. This is marriage ring. Then the pudding. Do it that way. Help yourself and your child. Give him a chance. Your kids. Dar sus hijos un chance. Primero esto de boda, primero antes de pudín. Okay? But anyway, usa el tiempo en aprendiendo del hombre. You have to learn what the man is. What we don't real, what you ladies don't realize a lot, that what you're doing really is picking out a part of something of your father. That's what a lot of people need to understand that. Ustedes, las mujeres, están buscando su padre en el macho. Y aunque tú lo reconoces o no, tú has escogido algo, no su pai en todo lo mismo, pero en algo es similar a su padre. Siempre, nunca yo he visto una pareja que no demuestre que han escogido papá y mamá en relación, o sea, el hijo, su madre y la hija, su padre. In one way or another, in all the relationships I've studied, I've always seen a bit of the father, a bit of the mother in the selection of the child. The son choosing a girl with some similarity to the mother, and a female, a daughter, marrying a boy that has some similarity to her father. And the similarity doesn't have to be on the outside or easily seen. The similarity is anything that the father portrayed at any time throughout the growing years of the child, not the later years. Hey, my boyfriend doesn't have anything like my father. Yeah, but he has something. I bet money on this. I'm not a betting man, but I would bet money. I'm sure of it, that your boyfriend had some quality of when your father was 18 or 16 or whatever, some quality, because that's what you remember from when you were a little child. Así tú recuerdes algo de su padre, su madre cuando tú eras un nene pequeño. Alguien me dice, yo no me crié con mi papá, y yo te digo, eso fue tu papá y eso es lo que tú estás buscando ahora, a menos que tú no hallaste otra macho en su desarrollo que llenó el papel de papá. So somebody might say, I didn't grow up with my father. But you either, but that was your father. In other words, not having a father is the person that you're looking for right now. That emptiness, not having a father, or some male that was in the vicinity that you your brain, because this you didn't do it on purpose. That's why you don't realize this. But your brain remember that that was a male. You see, and when you're looking for a male, that is what's being remembered. So, but it's somebody. Absolutely, that's how we learn who the male, who our a significant other is going to be, more or less, is a memory, something, not the whole picture, a part of it, and usually the part that was then and as opposed to now. Así que siempre ha sido una memoria, no todo es la persona, sino un recuerdo momentaria de la persona en aquellos tiempos, no ahora, pero en aquellos tiempos. So people change over time, which is why most of the people say, no, it's not like my father. Well, you don't know how your father was You don't remember how he was when he was 16, when he was 18. When you first came out the womb, you do not remember anything about your father, but your brain does, because your brain records everything it sees. And that's what you have to realize. Así que el cerebro, usted no recuerda cómo era su papá cuando tú saliste de la vientre de tu madre, right? Pero el cerebro sí, porque el cerebro recuerda todo. Aunque tú no lo recuerdes, el cerebro graba todo. So aquí está dentro de ti. Tú no sabes cómo accesarlo, cómo recordarlo, pero el cerebro está basado en todo lo que ha visto en la vida. So these things that you guys gotta understand. This is a reason why children of divorced parents, parents who divorced while the children were still developing, most likely your children will end up divorced too. Most likely, not all the time, because it depends again on what the memory is exactly, right? So, entonces, la mayoría de, más tiempo que otro, los hijos de padres divorciados van a terminar divorciados ellos mismos. Pero hay excepciones por la razón que dije antes, porque no siempre la memoria, ese instante, es del padre divorciado, sino de otro momento, de otras cosas que no necesariamente termina en divorcio, right? So, entonces hay excepciones, pero por esa razón no se puede decir que porque fulano de tal, sus padres eran divorciados, pero ellos no se divorciaron. No se puede decir que lo que estoy diciendo está mal, no, porque lo que estoy diciendo es que el momento es diferente para todo niño. So the exact moment where this thing happens is different for every child, right? So that if a child captures a quality that has nothing to do with divorce, with separating, with the parents separating, then the chances are good that they will stay together. And they will marry and not be affected with divorce because again, the daughter, let's say this daughter in this case, married someone that wasn't had anything to in their mind of they're assuming their parents didn't get divorced or anything like that. So that's a good chance that that won't happen. Again, some people marry guys. Let's say your parents didn't get divorced or did, doesn't matter. Because if you marry a guy that did, that parents did, and his memory of his mother is divorced, then you'll end up in a divorce. So it gets complicated depending on the what's involved in the soup. Así que puede, aunque la persona puede estar sin una experiencia de divorcio en su familia, pero el marido, su crianza, etcétera, etcétera. So it depends, depende en qué está en la sopa, qué tú echas en la sopa y lo que el sopón que sale. So that's what it is. I teach all this stuff. I give you diagrams and psychology and references in my university class where I talk about these things. But there's really just no time on Sundays. But in any case, just realize this when you look around yourself and you know their parents are divorced, they get divorced, you see it, you see the patterns are clear. They're not 100%, but I gave the reasonings why they're not 100%, and why certain divorces do happen anyway, because of the other factors that we've talked about. You could have two families, never was there divorce in any one of the husbands or wives' family tree forever. There was never ever a divorce. But if the guy again spends his time watching pornographic videos, and that's how he has developed his sexual relationship with women, he is going to be risking a divorce. He's just plain simple, and he will be the first one to start a divorce in his lineage, in his family tree, simply because things change over time. So you really, things change. You're doing the wrong thing, and whenever people do the wrong thing, wrong things happen. So again, so that also is the truth. That happens as well, and the vice versa. Two people, families divorced. They were going to be divorced, but then they found Jesus, and they started to do the right things. And guess what? They died married together. That can also happen. Así que vemos que aunque vienen de dos familias divorciados, familia destruida, pero estos dos se iban a destruir también, pero encontraron a Jesucristo y se hicieron lo correcto los dos. Puede ser que ellos alcanzan no tener divorcio y quedarse juntos toda la vida hasta que se muera. Eso también sucede. You see? So again, there is active and there's passive reasons for things going the wrong way. It doesn't mean that just because you have an inactive thing, um, that it isn't so. It's just that there are inactive and there are active reasons for everything and for anything going on. Hay razones activos y razones pasivas por lo cual las cosas suceden. All right, I'm going to leave it here because we're obviously already talking about marriage. It is the next subject. It'll be next week. We will start dealing with marriages. We've already started with this one here now. And we'll get to you guys next week. God bless you. Keep yourself safe. I'll be doing another pandemic type of preparedness thing this week. There's things happening that may happen that you guys also need to start, if you haven't done so, preparing. So I'm going to do that type of video for this week as a help out there for all y'all and for people you're dealing with so they can watch that. So make sure you tie them into that video when it comes out, that broadcast. So I'll be doing that during the week this week, God willing. And I see you guys next week. Keep praying for those and anyone suffering any problems with this pandemic thing. Um, let your pastors know. Let there be prayers. Amen. And the rest of us, do not be frightened. Just do the right things and move on ahead. Okay? So take the lead. Take my lead. I'm planning for the future here. So do the same thing. Occupy yourselves. Be busy. Keep yourself busy. Plan for your future. Do the right things. You guys are missing a lot of action going on. There's a lot of things happening in the economically, business wise, there's technology things. There's a lot of things that you guys should be, and men particular should be putting their nose into, and not the pornography and watching ladies. There's important things that are going on right now and technologies that you guys need to be looking at and doing and learning how to do it. So that's important stuff that's going on right now. You should be taking advantage of it instead of wasting your time. Again, ladies, you guys hold actually the key. Just don't give it up to anyone. Pay yourself respect and require it of anyone who's interested in you. God bless you and God keep you. Dios le bendiga a todos. Mantenga su respeto y demándalo de cualquiera que esté interesado en ti. Hasta la semana que viene. God bless you all. Remember, those who can, and if you were doing the right thing, you could. See, if you were doing the right thing, you can send me $1 million right now. It's as simple as that. So those who have been doing the right thing, demonstrate it, and I'll see you guys next week. Dios bendiga.